Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We are playing Blade and Sorcery today, the PC version, and I have a question for you. Do you think that New Year's resolutions are stupid? You might have an idea of what I'm thinking already. Anyway, we are in survival mode today, which means 3 weapons come out. I choose one of them, and I make the day very bad for everything that comes out the door. Let's start off with this right here. This looks nasty. And Emichi, yeah, that sounds right. Emichi. Anyway, hope you are doing well wherever you are today, whether it's day or night, or you're lining up for New Year's Eve and you're wondering what kind of dumb resolutions that you are going to make. Let's do our first traditional slow motion kill of the day right off the bat here. He looks confused. Let's cut his head right off there. Ooh, and you know what? I'm gonna slam the... Oh. Anyway, with that out of the way. We have a spinner. We have a spinner. Can I... Uh-oh. Oh, he's moving. Oh, God. Anyway. So, like I said, this is a time of the year when a lot of people think that they're going to make some big change in their life, right? That they're gonna make a resolution, which is, I mean, dumb to begin with. I'm resolved to doing something different this year. Well, the most common one is, what do you think the most common New Year's resolution that people make is? Well, let me give you a hint. At this time of the year, the most common thing that gets going in the business world is people get themselves a gym membership. Yes, that's right. Most people are like, I'm gonna hit the gym this year, and I'm gonna lose all this weight, and I'm gonna get toned and buff, and oh no. That'll take care of him. They're like, I'm gonna get toned and buff, and everything's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be the most amazing in health person that there is. And you know, you spend all this. Oh no. Oh, no. You spend all this time and effort. You go get a membership at your local place, and you go for 6-8 weeks, and then you kind of just fall off with it. Well, some of the dumb ones that I've seen are like, I'm gonna resolve to travel somewhere new every single weekend. All right, well, that sounds fun until you get to about 3 or 4 weekends in, and life comes along and says no. You know how that is. Anyway, so for me, one of the resolutions that I've always tried to take is the be nice to people one. Wow, that was a short round. Okay. The be nice to people one. What is this thing? Zweihander. Oh, yeah. Two-hander. Yeah. Anyway, so one of the ones that I always try to make is the be nicer to people one. And I just did an episode about, am I a grumpy old man? Am I turning into a grumpy old man? And I might be, So I've always tried to make a resolution to, be a nicer person. Well, that never works because... Again, life gets in the way, right? You get to the point where you're going, well, I made all these good resolutions. I'm going to try to be a better person, but it just sometimes doesn't work out that way. And I think part of the problem is that life has a tendency to change way too much for you to say, this year I'm going to do blank, right? I always heard this thing that said that, oh, yes. Oh, I always heard this thing that, what you're doing on midnight on New Year's Eve, well, you know what I'm saying. What you're doing at midnight is going to reflect very highly, oh no, is going to reflect very highly on what you do for the rest of the year. It's like a cocktail. It's like an hors d'oeuvre. Speaking of which, I hope you're going to be going to a party or something tonight, although don't feel bad if you're not going to. I've often kind of, I don't know, throughout my life I've gone to a lot of different New Year's Eve parties, and one of the ones that I always liked was I went to Times Square just once in my life for New Year's. Boy, when was that? That had to be 94, somewhere around in there. And I remember that was the most crowded, for me, I'm autistic. Oh, yes! Got her! Oh my god, that's awful. But I remember it was the most crowded thing that I've ever been to. Because I've been to pro sporting events and things like that. And this was a completely different experience than any of that, right? So Where did that go? Oh, I have a mod that I got to show you in a second. Anyway, so I'm autistic, so getting around, and I have an anxiety disorder, so getting around a whole bunch of people can sometimes be kind of messy, right? I tend to freak out really fast around people, and so going to New Year's at Times Square, where you've seen it. I know you've seen it on TV, or at least a recording, or maybe you've been there yourself. Going to New Year's at Times Square is like, there's 100,000 people just all out in the streets. And it's just like, oh my God, you are back to butt with every single person, right? So I remember we went out into Times Square, and we kind of messed around, but then it was so crowded that I started to bug out. I just started to get to the point where I couldn't take it. And so we spent our New Year's at a little Italian cafe that was just off of Times Square, and it was really nice. It was a nice, calm experience. But the funny thing is that the restaurant, the little cafe, was just like a cliche, like, ow, right in the forehead, was just like a cliche, like Italian restaurant, like one of the ones from The Godfather or something, is like mildly old, a little bit stinky, but really nice. Okay, so here's the mod that I have. This is the boom headshot mod. It automatically hits them in the head, no matter where I'm aiming. You'll see that in just a second. But I got to the point where, like, going to New Year's stuff seemed a little silly, right? We're just going to use the bow and arrow today on this one. So going to New Year's was always like we always had something to do when I was growing up. Okay, watch this here. What? You blocked it? Let's see. Oh, right in the head. Let's see. Let's do one more here. This guy's just getting up. I'm going to aim it just kind of like at random here. So this is, in case you're wondering, this is the Seeking Arrows mod. It is pretty sweet. It's just basically a boom headshot mod. Anyway, so a lot of the things that I did over the years were like, okay, here's time for the sad Orpheus tale. Are you ready for this? I have spent more than more than a dozen New Year's growing up where I was, single digits on up. And I remember I was by myself. My parents would be off at something. Oh, that was beautiful. My parents would be off at something, like some sort of party, and they left me alone. And I was like, 11, 12 years old, sitting in front of the TV watching, the Clark. Watching, oh boy, Dick Clark and his special little New Year's Eve celebration. I always used to watch that alone. And I remember even one time, we were traveling. My dad and I were driving somewhere on New Year's Eve, and midnight came, and my dad was, I don't know what my dad was doing. He wasn't in the car. We were parked somewhere. And I remember I had to spend New Year's Eve listening to it on the radio, listening to a countdown on the radio, and I spent that New Year's Eve in the back seat of a car waiting for my dad to come back. Now, here's the thing about this this mod, real quick. They auto-shoot too. So if there's someone that's got a bow and arrow, they'll hit their friends with it. Hold on, let me do that. We shoot over this way. Woo! How about here? I'll just kind of shoot over here. Woo! Once again, this is available in your in-game modding system. The one that comes right on the starting screen there. If you're wondering, this is a Mariuki. It is a Japanese bow that is in the, the medieval or fantasy weapons pack. Anyway, this is one of the ranged weapons that you can get. But, back to my point. New Year's Eve. Oh boy. What kind of memories do you have of New Year's Eve? Is it something that's always been a little weird for you? What kind of resolutions have you made? Now, I think that they're extremely stupid. They're no fun. They limit you, and then when you get to the point where you stop doing that, right? You stop with the resolution because you're just like, life is way too difficult to, keep doing, like keep going to the gym or something. Oh, beautiful. But like life gets too difficult. Things get in the way. So let me know in the comments below what you think about New Year's Eve resolutions. Are New Year's Eve celebrations something that you go to? Tell me about those, because a lot of people celebrate in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? I can't keep this thing in my right hand. Anyway, that's my little blurb for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a very safe and happy New Year's Eve tonight, and we'll see you on the next one. Here on Orpheus Plays, be sure to like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff that, the YouTube situation likes, because then that way, other people will know that Orpheus Plays is something they want to see. So we'll see you on the next one here. Bye!